What's going on? The Whites? Seriously, did your heart hold up this past week? Mine was beating harder than a Casilla penalty save. No one can ever say being a Leeds fan is easy. We live for the emotion, for the suffering, for the fight, for the rebirth. And what went down behind the scenes and on the Elland Road pitch smells like an epic movie finale, the kind that makes you both cry and shout at the same time. A lot of outsiders just shrug and say, it's just Leeds, but they fundamentally don't understand that here, the pain and the glory walk hand in hand, forging a spirit that simply doesn't exist anywhere else on the planet. We carry the history of a team that came back, that never gives up, and that is now facing its biggest demons, both internal and external. This isn't just about a 2-1 victory over West Ham. This is about survival, sacrifice, and the absolute chaos brewing in Yorkshire. Get ready, because the bombshell we're dropping today has 3 interconnected parts, and none of them are for the faint-hearted. We are going to reveal the true, dramatic reason that took one of our midfield pillars out of the starting lineup, exposing the brutal physical sacrifice of a squad pushed to its absolute limits. Then, we will unmask the blind favoritism of our manager for a specific player, even as an expensive new signing delivered a defensive masterclass from the bench, proving the critics right. And finally, the ultimate climax, the news that could both save our bank account and devastate our attack, involving an absolute European giant plotting to snatch one of our brightest talents. The tension is building. If you are a true White, you need to immediately smash that like button now. Drop your craziest Leeds moment in the comments, because only we understand this passion, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next vital update. The question that demands an answer is, was the hard-fought victory against West Ham just a massive smokescreen, hiding a relentless injury crisis and a talent auction that threatens to sink the Elland Road ship? What would you truly do to save Leeds United? Let's find out. This is going to be a wild ride, and we're here for every agonizing second of it. Get ready to explode. The Whites, the secret star, the cracked rib, and the manager's tactical deception. The atmosphere was heavy. Peacocks. The first revelation that was hidden under the victory rug against West Ham is the real reason why our midfield impact player, Anton Stach, did not start the game. It wasn't just a tactical choice, as they tried to make it seem. It was pain, it was sacrifice, it was a serious injury. This is the brutal reality of the Premier League. The press chatter began with criticism of his performance against Burnley, labeling him as one of the players dropped. But the truth is far more dramatic, my friends. Our boss, Daniel Farke, had to admit post-match that Stach had been playing through a serious issue and that he took another hit to his already injured rib. Stop and think about that. The guy was risking his body, his health, just to defend our badge. The injury was so severe that it forced Farke into an emergency, last-minute change of plans with the lineup. It's never easy to win a Premier League game, Farke confessed. We struggled so much with illnesses in the camp and players just back with injury. Stach had another hit against his rib. This confirms the extreme distress in the squad. This desperate situation explains the almost improvised introduction of Tanaka into the midfield. Farke was forced to revert to his Plan A formation, but the outcome wasn't ideal. While the team won, and Brendan Aronson had a decisive role, Tanaka himself had what the press called a quiet night. Look at the numbers. The Whites, a mere 37 touches on the ball and only 25 successful passes, with an 86% success rate. In a frantic game, he disappeared in the second half. Why? Because goalkeeper Lucas Purry has a tendency to kick the ball long, and the attacking system, focused on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, often bypasses the midfield entirely. Tanaka was a passenger. The direct impact of this is huge. The team is physically disintegrating. The hard-fought victory came at the cost of the players' bodies being absolutely shattered. Farke is trying to maintain morale, but he knows the squad is at its breaking point. If Stach doesn't recover quickly, and with Tanaka unable to dictate the pace, our midfield spine is critically exposed. The pressure is immense, and the manager is walking a tightrope. This situation is unsustainable, and the team needs stability now. And it's this kind of emergency situation that leads us straight to the next huge bombshell. Stach's injury opened the slot, and the resulting selection drama exposed the manager's major blind spot and the injustice towards a player who has already proven he is an absolute beast. What on earth is Farke thinking, sticking with a favorite while the new defensive sheriff put on a show? The truth will make your blood boil. The bench beast, the manager's dilemma, and the unquestionable favorites. It's time to talk defense, Peacocks. If the midfield is in tatters due to injury, the backline is on fire because of a decision only Daniel Farke can explain. The second bombshell is the absolutely screaming performance of Xhaka Bijel in his first Premier League start, and the question echoing in every single supporter's head: why was he rotting on the bench? We demand answers. Bijel cost a significant amount of money in the summer, about 15% of the total transfer budget. He arrived with the clear expectation of displacing Pascal Struijk, who, let's be honest, has shown some recurring weaknesses, even in the championship. But what happened? Bijel became the infamous unused sub, the luxury reserve who was forced to just watch the games. Then came the match against West Ham, and the Slovenian was immense. He was a monster. He was the center back we have been dreaming of. Look at these mind-blowing statistics, the Whites, and get ready to be furious. 95% pass accuracy, 53 completed passes, an incredible 11 clearances in defense, and the most shocking part, a 100% aerial duel win rate. He was flawless. He was the perfect, rock-solid partner for our main wall, Joe Rodon. They looked like a partnership forged in steel, ready to dominate the league. What this flawless debut performance reveals is a serious squad management issue. Farke clearly has his favorites, and Struijk is undeniably one of them. The criticism from the fans and pundits is brutal and absolutely warranted. The German manager is being accused of being sentimental and of prioritizing personal loyalty over peak performance. Bijel played at a much higher level than the Dutchman, and this was his first game in the league. This is unacceptable. The tension is real and palpable. The team desperately needs consistency in the defense to stop conceding soft goals, and the Rodon and Bijel pairing looks like the only logical winning answer that has been hidden away on the bench all season. Farke must swallow his pride and abandon all sentimentality, or he risks being engulfed by the relentless pressure from the crowd and the media. Leeds needs more frequent victories, and our new defensive sheriff needs minutes, starting now. But while we are struggling to resolve this critical internal dilemma, a European football shark is circling, eyeing one of our most valuable assets. Are we really going to have to sacrifice a young talent to finance the fixes Farke's decisions are making necessary? This leads us into the terrifying grand finale. The Italian Vultures, the January auction, and the World Cup dream, and we have reached the ultimate climax, the Whites. All the fighting against injuries, news 1, and the bitter tactical dilemma, news to lead us to the biggest external threat that could completely dismantle the squad. Juventus are actively plotting a major bid to steal our star winger, Wilfried Gnonto. The third and final revelation is a massive reality check. My friends, the old lady of Turin is ready to test Leeds United's resolve to keep Gnonto during the upcoming January transfer window. And they are not alone. Internazionale, where the young player started his career, is also closely monitoring the situation. The Vultures are circling Elland Road. What is fueling this imminent tragedy? It's all about the money and our survival. Leeds is in desperate need of reinforcements to ensure Premier League survival, and to do that while complying with the strict profit and sustainability regulations, they may be forced to sacrifice one of their prize assets. The young Italian, just 21 years old, faces an uncertain future, especially because he is fiercely determined to secure consistent playing time to guarantee his spot in the Italian national team for the upcoming World Cup. And here is the knife twist. His most recent competitive outing was off the bench. In the damaging defeat to Burnley, Farke has been favoring the Welsh international Dan James on the flanks, making Gnonto's position extremely precarious. The Italian giant Juventus has already sensed this weakness and is ready to strike. Losing Gnonto would be a heartbreaking blow to our collective soul, but the funds from his sale could inject the necessary capital to fix the exposed fullback positions, bolster the midfield, and give Farke the reinforcements he has been begging for. It's a ruthless calculation of necessity versus sentimentality. The Whites live and breathe this cycle of suffering and sudden glory, of losing a star and immediately forging another. It is literally our history. Now, the ultimate reflection is directed at us, the Elland Road faithful. Can we really afford to lose Gnonto in January? Does this internal and external fight justify the painful sacrifice of one of our most promising talents? We need to know your thoughts. Leave your comment now. Should Leeds sell Wilfried Gnonto to Juventus for a massive cash injection to save the club from relegation, or is he simply too valuable to let go in this brutal battle for Premier League survival? We need to hear your voice, the Whites, and don't forget, like, comment, and share. Keep following Football Longo for the hottest and most emotional news about our beloved Leeds.